Hey, everybody. We're back again for another interesting topic. You already know our names, so we don't have to introduce ourselves. I'm going to play our promo video and then we are going to get into a juicy topic. And I actually have some cool stuff to share with you guys, like from experiences from people that have spoken to me from this week that will relate to today's topic. So give me 1 second, guys, and then we are going to jump in today's show. All right, guys. So welcome to today's show. As you guys know, we always try to bring you guys banging topics, and this one is going to be no different than the other ones. I think this one's going to be a little more in depth, though. So hopefully you guys are prepared for that. The topic that we're covering today is stop trying to fix your partner. I wish sometimes we could just end the podcast off like right there and just say, stop trying to fix your partner and just boom.
So true, isn't it? It's such a straightforward thing. It's like, if you don't like your partner how they are, why are you with them? Stop trying to change everything about them. You know what? I was actually driving along today and this came to my mind and I thought, isn't it amazing? Because I've done it before. I've done it where I'm saying, oh, you should do this, or you should be like this, or you should be like that. In my non-growth days, shall we say. And, when I think about it, I cringe. I think, oh dear, did you really ask somebody to change? I mean, you can't. Stop trying to change people. I told myself that and I stick to it now. I will not try and change somebody. And the only reason it came to my head today was because somebody that I was talking with, a male, and I thought, is a really nice, really, really nice guy, like really nice guy. And I was thinking, oh, would I accept him how he is? Or would I want to change things? I had to seriously ask myself that question, because at the end of the day, I can either, if it comes to my mind that I want to change something, then he's definitely not for me, because I wouldn't want anyone to come along and try and tell me you need to change in order for me to be happy with you. Like, then I'm the wrong person for you. Straight up, I am the wrong person.
Well, let's be honest about it. A lot of times when people date somebody or they're interested in someone, they're going to paint a vision of this person of how they want them to be. Yes. So when they get into the relationship, they're trying to project their vision onto the person and the person resists back.
Yes.
Right? And that's the problem, because what you're doing is when you create this false illusion, right, of somebody, it's not based in any form of reality, first of all. Yeah. So you've created this illusion where you say, oh man, if they could just be more so cooperative and they could be like this and they could be like this, I will totally jump into a relationship. But that's not them.
Yeah.
Right? That's not who they are. And you could see it. You could see it too. It's not their principle. It's not their character. None of it. But you are still pursuing them relentlessly, doing whatever it is you're doing, a situationship, whatever, trying to get this person to fit into your mold.
Yeah.
And you're failing.
Yeah, because of course you're going to fail, because at the end of the day, we can't change, we are not that powerful, man, to change another human being, no. They're not moldable, as in, they're not plasticine. You can pull them around and make them be how you want them to be. They are who they are. And you hear it so much in relationships. Oh, I wish he would be like this, or I wish she would be like that. Why can't she just do this? Why can't he just listen to what I'm saying? Why can't this? Why can't that? And you hear it endlessly in relationships. And my answer is exactly what you said at the beginning. If you don't, at the end of the day, if it doesn't like it, then walk. It's not for you, because you can't keep on. It's draining. It's depressing, man. It's low energy. It's low vibe. It's not a positive impact in somebody's life. it actually causes a very negative impact on somebody. Because if somebody's continuously telling you they don't like you the way you are, and they're not saying it in those words, but what they're saying to you is, I want you to change. I want you to be like this. And I want you to basically fit the vision I have in my
So
mind.
I can give you the love. Yeah. So I can.
Yeah, so then I can give you the love. Then you're belittling that person.
You're withdrawing love. You're saying, well, I'm only going to love you if you do fit this.
Yeah, you're not worthy enough for what I see. And actually that will impact somebody in a very negative way, because now the other person is going to feel like they're not good enough, because they're feeling already, or they're seeing and they're hearing constantly, why aren't you like this, or why aren't you like that? So if you're questioning that person, and say they really love you, but they can't stand on their head enough different ways, because they're still not matching what's in your vision, then that's not fair. So instead of holding on and making the other person's life miserable because you're not getting what you see in your mind's eye, then just stop everybody being miserable and walk away. Like, just tell the person, you're not what I wanted, what I'm looking for. I thought you were what I'm looking for, but you're not. Don't drag it on and try and change somebody. I think it's so wrong on every level.
Well, it's interesting because I like to say that people that do that want to build a boo. That's exactly what they want to do. They want to build a boyfriend. They want to build a girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
They want to try to fix them in with all these specific parts and all these specific things. And it's like, if they're not what you're looking for, they're not what you're looking for. Like, let's just call a spade a spade. Like, don't try to convince yourself to be with somebody, because now that's bad for you. If you have to convince like, let's say you have a specific set of things that you're looking for, and that person does, let's say they have like 2 out of like 10, but you're like, I can change them into this. As Anthea said, it's going to be exhausting for you. It's going to be tiring for you. And yes, it's always nice to see someone's potential. It's nice. It's beautiful. But if we're being honest, most people don't live up to their potential. So you have to kind of take them as is.
Absolutely. And I think, if you can take somebody wholeheartedly for who they are, and you grow together, that you grow into the potential together,
Yeah.
You can't, but to be standing and be unhappy in a relationship because it's not what you want, and you want that person to merge into exactly what you want, then it's not fair, it's not on. And it's why so many relationships end up in such bad ways, because somebody's just not happy with what they've got. And instead of, you chose the person, you chose them, okay, so maybe you chose them thinking, and you know what? You probably remember this, Michael, a couple of years ago, where I'd met somebody, and I was suggesting different things to them to do, because they were coming to me, telling me about their life and what they wanted. So I was making suggestions. I think me and you had a conversation about it, and you said the problem is, it's like you're giving them too much of what they can be, so you're now creating a vision in your mind of what they're going to become. Now if they don't meet up to that, then it's like a drop for me. So
you're disappointed.
It's a disappointment. So I very quickly learned that that's not what you do. It's like, at the end of the day, if he wanted to grow within himself and do these things, then do it, but I must accept him for how he is today, not for what he can become in the next couple of years or so.
Yeah, like, it's nice to think that, like, if he could show you who he can become by like consistent actions, then that's okay. But
absolutely,
like, when you're constantly trying to like fix them, like, then it's like, it's not your job to fix anybody.
No, and you can't fix somebody. You just can't, because they're not a door with a doorknob where you can like get a screwdriver and unscrew them and then screw it back on again and fix the problem. It doesn't work like that, Everyone's got their own emotions, their own thought process, their own way of just being. So
yeah, they're not a broken fence where you're gonna come and you're gonna paint it and you're gonna do all these different things. Like,
yeah, make it
I
look
think
pretty.
I'm gonna give you guys an example, and I think it's better that way. Let's say you are a texter, right? And texting is very important for you in a relationship. Let's say you're dealing with a woman that is not a big texter. She takes 2 or 3 days. She still likes you, but she's just not a texter. But it's like in the podcast I said before, the one I did on Wednesday, for you, it's a need. So if this person's not a texter, why are you going to try to turn them into one? But you need texting. But you like, that's what you need? Date somebody that's like that.
Exactly. And I think it's a big thing because we all carry our mobile phones and we all communicate like that. So I think in this day and age, it's actually one of the things to qualify somebody with. Like, it's not a big, massive thing, like the example you're giving. However, it can become that because, like you said, if you're saying, let's say I'm the texter and you're the person who likes to call. But I don't like to take calls. I prefer to text, and you keep calling me, then I'm going to get to a point where I'm going, well, hang on, I've said to you, I don't like to do phone calls. And you say to me, well, I've told you I don't like doing texting. So if we can't find a mutual ground from the beginning to say, like, okay, we'll do, if it's something urgent, we'll call. If it's something, but you don't have to have, maybe you can come to an understanding that it doesn't have to be long text messages. If it's something that can be resolved there and then, you can just do a quick text. Otherwise, if you're going to organize things, get on the phone. Like for me personally, if I need to organize something, I much prefer to be on the phone. And a good example just now, I just created a group so that I don't have to go between everybody and call everybody because we're all going out. There's a load of us going out tomorrow. And rather than me making all the phone calls, even though if it was one person, I'd make the phone call. But because there's 14 people involved, I'm not going to waste my time calling 14 different people and try and get to understand what's going on. So I created a group so everybody can message and everybody can have their say in a group, right? Now, if everybody didn't like that, then they would not respond and just call me. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, that's why I want to dive. Choice.
No, that's why I want to dive deep on it because we're using the texting as an example. I know couples that text all day. That's what I'm saying, like throughout the day. Like that's how they communicate and they still see each other.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm saying, like, let's say you're not like that. Some people don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So I don't think that person would be a good fit for you then.
No, absolutely. No,
if
because
they want to text like all day back and forth, like in the middle of their job, their breaks, and they want that like communication, and that's how they communicate. But you communicate by like seeing the person or phone calls. You might just have to let it go.
Yeah. And I think if it's just one thing, you can work on it. But if you've got a multiple of things that you're saying, like you're constantly questioning, why do they do this? Or why do they do that? Why can't they be like this? Or why can't they be like that? Why are they, why? Well, why are you with them if you don't like anything about them, right? That's the question you need to ask yourself. Stop trying to ask them, why can't you be like this and be like that? And put the question back to yourself and understand, why are you asking them to do this? Because you can't, you just can't get upset with how somebody is. They are how they are.
They are who they are. You know what I mean?
They are who they are.
There was a famous rapper who said, I am who I am. Like, that's just what King Von. Yeah, I am who I am. So it's like, for example, I'm a gym guy, right? I love fitness. I go to the gym. I wouldn't date somebody that's not active. Now, you don't have to go to the gym, but you have to have an active lifestyle. So I'm not going to date a person and say, well, I'm going to try to make them go to the gym to like fix them when it's not my job to do that. It's like, if you're not into the gym or any type of fitness, that's a cross for me. You're out.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's your prerogative and that's down to you. But imagine you go and take somebody, imagine you go and, you say yes to being with a particular lady, and you're with her knowing that she's not a fitness person, and then you start going, yeah, but why don't you go to the gym?
No, hells no, I'm not doing all that. I've done
But
that
could you
before.
imagine that? Like, imagine that. Why don't you go to? Imagine how that girl's gonna feel as well. You're saying, well, why don't you go to the gym? Why don't you start like working out? Why don't you eat better? Why don't you this? Why don't you that? And she's like, whoa! I told you from the beginning, I'm not into all of this. So by you constantly asking her why, do you think she's gonna feel really positive and feel like she wants to go out with you, or she wants to see you? You know, she's going to come to a point where she's like, you know what? I can't deal with this anymore. I've told you from the beginning I'm not into it. And now you're asking me why. Why don't you this? And why don't you that? It, like, listen to it. It doesn't make sense, right? Why
Yeah,
would people do that?
that's a loss. That's a loss, because it's like, let's say, for example, and we'll use us. I used me. I'm going to date someone that has an active lifestyle because I don't want to have to beg them to be active or go to the gym. Then it's less mentally exhausting for them. So we kind of have a commonality. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with you. You're not going to date a guy that doesn't do personal development. There's no commonality there. Then you have to tell him, oh man, can you read this book on like femininity? Can you read this book on like masculinity? Can you read this book on finances? And he's like, well, you know, I don't really like those things. And then you're just like,
yeah, he's like, I just want to stay in bed all day and watch TV. Well, that wouldn't work for me. So imagine he tells me that, and I just go, oh, okay. And then as time goes on, I'm saying to him, so why do you keep lying in bed? Well, I told you that's what I like to do. Well, come on, get up, do something. That's not what I want to do. Like, who am I to come in and tell him that?
Like if he does his 9 to 5 and he wants to lounge after, it's cool. But that doesn't work for you.
No.
So that's why we try to tell people is date, like find out who you are. Because if you don't know who you are, how can you know who's supposed to be in your life or not, first off? And then when you're dealing with people, right, you're not a friggin' Mr. Fix-It. You're not a build-a-boo. I don't want to have to build my girlfriend up. Now, in certain aspects, maybe, because if she looks up to me, in certain aspects, okay. But like if you're coming in there like, I'm going to fix her, I'm going to turn her into this, she's going to be more ladylike, leave it alone.
It is. That's what I mean. You're so right. And, you know, I don't know how much we can say about it, but I think if people could really take this and really take it on board to say, it's not what you do to another person. It's actually a form of abuse, as far as
that's
I'm
not a
concerned.
relationship.
Yeah, you're abusing the relationship.
Well, you went in with the wrong intentions too.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely. Because you're trying, at the end of the day, you know, when you go to bingo, do you know what bingo is, Michael?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, okay,
I've won a few rounds of bingo.
I don't know if there's bingo over in Canada.
I've won a few rounds of bingo. Don't knock it. I've won a few rounds, man.
Yeah, maybe. Sorry. Yeah, like if you, I forgot my point now. I think I was gonna say, if you go to bingo, you're not gonna, when they call out number 23, you don't go to number 32 and stamp that. They're gonna say to you, it's a mismatch. You didn't align with the right number. You're stamping the wrong numbers.
Yeah,
It's the same with getting into with a person. Like, you either align with what they're saying, or that's you're both aligned.
Or who they are. I would say align with who they are.
With who they are, yeah. Or you're going to be stamping on the wrong foot, man. Like, honestly.
No, and I agree, because some people will try to align themselves with the person's words, but you have to align yourself with who they are.
Yes. And we've said this before, haven't we? Action. Check people's actions. Action. Words are so cheap. I mean, Michael knows. Guys that just give me so much lip service, man.
Well, words are nice, but actions define if you stay or not. That's exactly what I posted on Facebook. Words are nice because, again, who doesn't want to be told that they look nice, that they're pretty, that they're handsome, or that they're like, who doesn't want to be told those things, right? Those are nice things. But the person's actions are going to determine if you stay in that relationship.
Absolutely. And let that be the thing. Like, actually take notice of their action and don't ignore it and go, oh, well, you know, he'll do it. He'll do it at some point, or he'll do, I don't know. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen because you're just building another vision in your mind again, and you're waiting for something to happen. But actually, if he's not taking action or she's not taking action the way you thought it was going to be, then it's never going to happen.
No, but
It
they
just,
sell themselves a dream saying they're going to wake up one day. They're going to wake up that one day, and I want to be there. When they change, I can't miss the boat. And you know what? I'm here to tell you, you already missed it. The boat's already gone. You're
yeah,
standing at the pier and you're like, wait for me. And the party boat's gone from the dock.
yeah. And there's
That,
a couple that I knew, and it was, all I heard was, why isn't he like this, or why isn't she, from both sides of it. And it's for years and years and years, and it's been like, why are you together? Oh, because it's a shame to drop all those years. You
it's
don't like
convenient.
each other. You don't, nothing, no one says, I've never heard anybody say here that um that you like this about that the other person, or you like, and you're happy and satisfied with A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H, but you're not satisfied with I, which is fine. But it's always A, B, C, D, and E, and the rest of it is unsatisfied. And then there's one little thing that you go, oh, okay, I don't mind that. Well, it's an unbalanced situation, isn't it? So on the note of that, don't stay with somebody just because you've been with them for a long time, because you're just holding on to memories. If it's not working, right, you're just holding on to memories. It's not real. It's gone. It's done. It's dusted. We
Well, as
seem
I
to have
said,
this.
most people, it's because, again, and I love that you brought up the time thing. They're not attached to the person. They're attached to the time.
Yeah.
They're attached to the time that they've put in with us individual. That's why they don't want to leave. And they also are very, very afraid to start over. There is a huge fear of starting over, right? Sorry, guys. Anthea froze.
Oh, we're back. Yeah, they will
But
say,
there's a huge fear of starting over. That's what it is. Because if you've been with someone, let's say for like 10 years, right? That's like a decade. And you have to start over. You're more fearful of starting over than you actually leaving them.
yes, because they're so scared that they're not going to meet somebody else, but it doesn't work like that. I mean, I always say, if you're gonna walk from a relationship, take time out first and foremost before you go into another relationship.
Oh, for
Understand
sure.
what is it that you actually want, and become that. Become the person you want to attract in your world and want to be part of, not just attract, choose. Like, because essentially, when people are saying you're not like this and you're not like that, and I need you to be like, it's because you're missing something in you. You're not seeing that. It's because it's not in you. So find out about you, like Michael said earlier on. Get to know you, and then once you know you and what you want, and what you want in a relationship, become that. Be that person.
Yeah, what you
And then
need from a relationship, but it's also
yeah,
understanding that everybody has their needs, right? Which is fine, but it's also understanding that that other person has needs too. So they're also going to have requirements from you too. Just as much as you have requirements from them,
yes.
they got requirements from you.
Yes, yes, yes. It's not just about you, it's about both of you. It's about two becoming one, in a sense of just like being able to align with one.
Yeah, being able to align with one another. I agree with you 100%. And through that alignment, you guys will either build a connection or not. So again, we're not going to keep you guys for too long. I'm going to wrap up the final thoughts because Anthea just froze. And sorry about the phone, guys. It rang. But I want you guys to understand this very deeply. If you're going to date intentionally, have good intentions. Know who you are. That's why it starts there. Know who you are and what it is you want. Once you start from those two areas of knowing who you are and what it is you want, then you can date from healthier spaces. Because a lot of times when you're dating people to fix them up, I would be more concerned about the person doing that. I would say there's something wrong in you if you're going around and picking all these projects to fix. that for me is a problem. Like you're running around here trying to fix all these things and doodle up all these projects.
Yeah, absolutely. I so agree with that. It's like stop picking projects. But you know what? Again, I'm gonna say, but just through my own my own experiences, I was picking projects because I was my own project.
That is true.
Right? And I didn't know that. So the problems I'm trying to fix in them is actually the problems that I've got in myself, thinking that I'm trying to fix them, but I need to fix me. I need to mend me first and foremost, before I try and mend somebody else, because they're just a mirror reflection of what's happening in me. And every time I say I don't like it, it's because I don't like it, because there's something in me that I don't like about me, and I'm reflecting it back onto them. And people don't realize how powerful that actually is when you grasp it, that it's not about the other person. You know, once you're whole in yourself and you feel you don't need to be picky in things, and you just know that, listen, you're satisfied with this person to who you've just met, and you like everything, that not everything, but you like 90% of what
the 80-20 rule.
Yeah, the 80-20 rule. You're in that 80%. And so once you're in that 80%, you know you can move forward, because look, that's what it is. The other 20% is going to be the balance of it all. So yeah, stop fixing people. Stop trying to fix yourself, man.
Yeah, so that's what we wanted to say, guys. We're gonna see you guys next week. You know what I mean? Again, before this podcast ends, please like, share, subscribe. Guys, our short clips on Facebook and on YouTube have been banging. We're getting like 500 views, 1,000 views, and we want, again, to continue the rolling, because again, we think that this stuff is very educational. And you know, we're actually going to start fine-tuning the show, because I actually want to start getting guests on here, male guests, to talk about growing up in a single parent household for males, what it was like for them growing up as a single man in a feminine household. And you know, I'm also supposed to get a guest on here who's happily married, to talk about how she balances her work life and marriage, because as we can see, some people can't do both. They either become very obsessed with their career, their marriage falls apart, or they become very obsessed with their family and their career falls apart. So, and that's a happily married female. So, you know, again, we want to try to get a diversity on here of opinions, because you hear a lot of ours, but we also want to be able to give you a diverse panel of other people's experiences on this earth as well.
And also, before we jump off of that, I was just going to say, I don't think it was said for a while. Again, if there's anything, any particular topic you guys want to hear and you want us to talk about, please do drop us an email or drop us a comment. Just let us know what it is that, you know, you desire to be heard, like what would like us to discuss.
For sure.
That'll be, you know, I think we want to be able to please you guys and give you answers to your questions. So please do come forward, ask questions. If you don't want to have it on comments and anyone to know who you are, just email us or message us on Messenger, and we'll get
on
back
any
to you.
platform. On any platform. Yeah, reach out to us. If you have a question or something you want us to talk about, we are gladly to talk about, and keep your name anonymous. So with that being said, guys, we will see you guys next week. Take care, and we will see you guys next week.